and welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. In this chapter, we're going to be going over the StarMask process using the recommendations from Light Vortex Astronomy. So let's go over here to Process All Processes StarMask. I'm going to bring that up. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize my main image, simply because if you look at our values, our RGB values, we're looking at the noise because we have a noise threshold here. And you know, the recommendation is, yeah, you could use the lowest of the three or average them, and that would be perfectly fine. However, the other thing we can do here is pull up our luminance. Since we already have that where we want it, as far as minimal noise in the background, and we already have our stars pretty well mapped out. So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to keep the stars but get rid of the noise and the galaxy, so we can just protect the stars. So let's zoom in here to where we have some faint stars. Let's go over this way. So if we left click and hold, we're seeing 0.045, 0.047 in there. We hold over a faint star and we're at 0.13. So we're going to look at that one and 0.15. So it looks like as long as we're, I would say 0.09 would be our threshold. So let's go ahead and change our threshold to 0.09. That should allow us to keep, maybe I'll go down to 0.07. Be just below some of these fainter stars, but still be above these noise levels. Yeah, so we'll do that. And the next recommendation is our midtones. So if we just applied this real quick, let's see what we get first. That is quite interesting. I do not like it. Picked up a lot of noise. Let's close this out and see what our next recommendation is, which is to adjust the midtones. And he is recommending the values of 0.25 down to 0.1 seem to work well. I'm just going to go ahead and do a 0.25, and let's see where that takes us. Alright, so I'm seeing some of the fainter stars in here, a lot of noise, and we're missing the larger stars. So to correct that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bump this up to a 0.8. The scale should help us find the larger stars. So let's bump that up to a 6. The large scale, we want to drop that down. Let's go ahead and start at a 0. And let's see where that goes. The large scale has to do with the size of the stars in the mask, not the size of the stars originally. So we're going to go ahead and apply, not apply, let's close this out and let's apply it to that. Let's see what we get next. Alright, that looks a lot better. I think that noise threshold was what got rid of a lot of stuff back there. So let me pop this up here. Let's just, as you can see, our larger stars are missing. Oops. I'm not moving the mouse. Why is it doing that? Alright, well, let's close this out. Let's bump this up one more time to a 7. And let's see if we can pick up some of these larger stars. Alright, let's see how that looks. Still missing some of the larger stars. So I'm going to go ahead and bump that up one more. And let's see what we get. Looks like we probably got a few in there. Yep, and I'm not getting any of the structure of the galaxy. So I'm going to go one more. And that should be good for the scale. Alright, let's see what we got. Still nothing for the galaxy, that's good. And the larger stars definitely picked up. So we will leave that just like that. So that gets us all the stars that we want to protect or not protect, depending on how we apply the mask. But next, we want to basically create two different masks. One for the stars themselves, and two for the contours. So the first option we're going to play with is binarize. And let's just go ahead and see what it gets by enabling that. Alright, and as you can see, it picked up a bunch of the noise, but it basically turns everything either pure white or pure black. So if you look at these little halos around the stars, it created very large stars. So I kind of don't like that, especially with this noise here, but let me bump that up to a 0.9. And smoothness, might have to adjust that to just a second. Let me check. Right, let me half that. Let's see what we get as a result. All right, let's see where we're at. Yeah, I still didn't like that. So let me drop that down to an 8. Take this back up to a 16. I want to uncheck binarize. So that would give us where we started with before binarize. And I'm just going to go ahead and bump that scale up to a 10. Let's see where we, whoop, cancel. Don't want to do a mask off of a mask. All right, let's see how it looks now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's the luminance image. Yeah, I think I'll keep that. So let me save that real quick. Okay. So we will call that primary StarMask. We'll just go ahead and minimize that. Throw that over here. Now the other thing we're going to want to look at is contours. So let's go ahead and pop that on there and just see what we get. Light Vortex Astronomy's page says we might have to adjust the smoothness. So let's see what we end up with. Ooh. All right. Well, that definitely picked up a lot of noise, didn't it? So let's just go ahead and make that a 1. Let's see where we're at. Oh, no, I want to do it on the mask. All right, I do not like that. Interesting. So let me go back to an 8, 0, 8 that is. Let me also do an invert. Let's see what that produces. At this point, I'm just playing a little bit. You know, the image that he was using was more for a nebula with a dense star field. So the tutorial he has may not directly apply to this galaxy image, but you know, the knowledge is there, so now it's just playing to get what I want. So let's see what this one does for us. Yeah, that definitely is not what I was expecting. Okay, so let me go to 0.1 again. Oh, can't do 0.1. 0.1. Let's drop the smoothness down to an 8. And see what we get. Okay, that did not work as expected. So let's drop this down. Let me try going to a 5. All right, well, as you can see, that didn't work either. So, go ahead and close that out. But I have an idea. So let's revisit. Let's revisit binarize. So let's go back to a 0.8. Shouldn't matter because we are way low on our noise here. So let's check this out using the StarMask. All right, so let's see here. That actually might work a little bit better. Let me close this out. So if I remember correctly, we were at a 16. So I'm going to get rid of this. So we still have some noise up here. Open up my luminance again. So I'm just going to boost this up to a 1. Keep my scale at 10. Let's create a new primary mask. If I don't like it, I can always reopen the other one since I did save it. All right. Let's see how that does. Let's drop that down. Let's do binarize again. And apply. All right, well, we're getting closer. Still don't like that noise in there, but all right, well, let's do this. Close that out. We'll bump this up to a 0.2. All right, we are getting closer. So those are kind of bloated, so I'll need to move that down. So let me get this out of the way. Let's do a 0.3. Drop you down. Let's go to an 8. See what happens there. All right. So I think we're on the right track. So let me get rid of that. And get rid of that. So let's go back. Let me start with a 0.1. I'm going to leave that as 0. Let's do 16. And let's start a new one. All right. Let's see what we have here. And it looks like I lost some of the fainter stars. But that might be a decent starting point. So let me go ahead and update this. Pop this over here. And now we're going to, let's leave that a 1, Q to an 8, and binarize. Alright, still picking up a lot of noise. So I'm going to close that out. I'm going to bump this up to a 2. And let's see what we get now. All right. Well, let's see here. Really don't want want to tweak it too much more. I'm going to minimize that just real quick and do one other thing. I'm going to use these settings, but on this image. See what I get. Okay, what do we got here? If I open up this one, yeah. This guy. All right, well, I'm going to close this one out. I'm going to close this one out. I'm going to close this one out. Let's see what a 0.3 will do. Yeah, let's see what 0.3 does. 0.2 was close. Still a fair amount of noise in there, but we'll see what it does. Oh, that might actually work. Let's see here. There's very little noise. Let's zoom in here. A little bit out there, but that's okay. We can deal with that. And some stars in the galaxy are missing, but it might be one of those necessary evils. So I'm gonna put this over here. Analyzed. Go ahead and we're going to save that. And go ahead and create my icon. Pop that right there for now. So now we want to do the contours. So let's see how that does. All right, that definitely did not work the way I expected it to. I mean, those rings are what we want. All that noise. Wow. All right. So let me try going off of this guy. Let's see what we get there. Yeah, just picking up way too much. Close that out and minimize that one. Let's bump this up to a 5. No, it's a big jump, but might need to do it. Let's drop that down to a 4. Let's see what we get. I'm looking for those rings. Alright. That did not work as well as I'd hoped either. These rings are what we're looking for. But it's just not. So let me do one last thing. So let's go back to a 16. Go to a 6. Need to make sure, but let's see here. Let's try that one. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And I get this smaller, thicker rings. Overlay that. Yeah, I don't like the noise it's picking up. But for now, I think I'll call that one okay for now. Let me bump that smoothness up. Let me go to a 0.7. Those two. Yeah, should be able to work with that. Alright, so 0.7, and we'll bump the smoothness up to a 25. Let's see where that lands us. We might call that one good. Alright, I might actually like that one a little bit better. Let's overlay it. Yeah, I think we'll leave that one the way it is. So let's save this first. Save the file. All right, and then let's create a process icon. Move that over here. And we'll close you out. Let's get our luminance mask. Let's move this guy up here. This guy up here. That's not what I wanted to do. All right. Well, that was a little bit lengthy to get to where we are at now. I think I have 2 StarMasks that will work for me. So we will move on to the next process. But as far as this chapter is concerned, I want to say thank you for watching. Sorry it took so long, but you know, that's the nature of the game. First time really trying to delve into this StarMask process and trying to do a couple things that I hadn't done before that I read about on Chiron's Light Vortex Astronomy page. So first time really trying to do that, trial and error, seeing what we could get. You know, might have a couple that might work for us here in the future processing. So, you know, again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you so choose, ring that bell if you want to get notified when I post something new, and as always, clear skies. Have a good one.